Welcome back. Just move this glass out of the way. So we're going to do another pancetta today. The last one I did was very, very tasty, but I wasn't quite satisfied with the amount of fat on it, and it was scored. So, and it was the last one in the shop. So I was able to get some from Grasmere this week. Really good butchers here locally in Stamford, and they know what I want, and they work with me to give me exactly what it is that I need. So I've got to cut about 2.5 kilo piece here, the belly, ribs in, and what I'm going to do first, before I put any of the ingredients around it and put it into cure, I'm going to bone it out and get the ribs out. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about knives, because this is a specialist bit of kit you're going to need. These are my favourite knives. Yes, I have favourite knives. There are many like them, but these are mine. And the one we're going to use today is this boning knife. And it's a really good idea to keep them as sharp as you can. So invest in a stone to get
stoner.
Invest in a stone to keep the edges keen. You can see that one's got a bit of a curve on it, so it's a nice relaxing thing to do. There are actually ASMR videos on YouTube you can watch for stoning. Quite apart from the sound side of it, it's a nice relaxing thing to do, to watch the stoning videos. But I'm gonna bone these ribs out, come back and then talk a little bit about the ingredients. I'm gonna tie my hair because this is a hygienic kitchen, and then we'll crack on. Back in a bit. So I spent a little bit of time boning this out and skinning it. I've been really, really careful with the skinning because I wanted to keep the maximum amount of fat on the pork. So I think I've done that, but I think I'm in the doghouse because I've taken all the fat off this, and this is going to go and get baked for some nice porky scratchings. The ribs will be going into the pot here for a bit of a bonus cook-up. So I've taken, I'll just show you that. So I've taken the ribs out. So there's not very much meat on there, but it's worth doing a little bit of a
So is that how they make the pork ribs?
No, well, there's spare ribs and the baby back ribs, and they're generally an offcut and they go in the bin. But in the UK, they tend not to leave very much on the ribs when they're fabricating. Yeah, typically there's it. But in the shop they'll leave quite a lot more on.
Picking them up and putting them down.
If I leave them in there, when you buy ribs in the UK, they will typically leave quite a lot more on there. The spare ribs and the baby backs as well. But so if you come over here, so I've taken, I've been really mean with this. I've kept as much fat as I can on the belly and stripped it pretty well from here. You can almost make a pair of gloves out of this, or a weird face mask. So we're going to do a bonus cook-up with this. These never waste anything.
Going to do a little Chinese barbecue saucy type of thing.
Saucy type thing.
Yeah.
And then I'll trim this up a little more, and we'll come back and sling it in the bag and get it curing. But all the bones are out here. What I wanted to show you as well was all of the cartilage pieces are out as well. You could trim between the bones, but it would leave it a bit more difficult to roll. So I've trimmed that so it's flat. You can see here I've taken the ribs off and carried on through, kept as much meat on here as possible and as much fat as possible. That's what I wanted out of the pancetta. So let's get these on and get the ingredients ready for the pancetta and get them into the bag and get them curing.
Lucas?
Thanks for coming, Lucas. We couldn't have done this without... What? So the ingredients are ready. If anybody's got a hack for turning this...
What is it?
Nutmeg. Into this without grinding your fingers down, I'm all ears.
Your fingers are just too fat.
Thank you very little. We're going to put some nutmeg, it's about 4 grams of nutmeg, some bay leaves, some junipers. I smashed these already. We're going to coarsely grind some black pepper, about 30 or 40 grams, and put some brown sugar in. This is really, really hard brown sugar. I didn't have the dark brown sugar that's needed. This is muscovado. It's really quite tricky to get moving, but that's fine. It'll be okay in the bag because it's going to cure and it'll melt. And we're going to use some PDV salt. I mentioned before, pure dried vacuum salt. It's very good for curing, and we need 5%. So this is not an excess salt method. This is a specific salt ratio. So we've got, now this is trimmed, I've weighed it again. It's 1.6 kilos. So we need 80 grams. Lucas. We need 80 grams of salt in the cure, and it'll stay in there for a while. And once it's done, we'll tie it and stick it in the meat safe. It's relentless.
He's saying hello to Auntie Linda.
Oh, okay, all right. And then, so we'll put it in the bag, get it all curing, and then in a few days we'll take it out and tie it up again. All right. It's all bagged up. So we put the mix of the cure ingredients in the bag, both sides. So that's going to go in the fridge for 3 days for every 500 grams. So this is about 1.6 kilos. So that's
9, just
76 days. 9 days.
9 days and a few hours.
So 9 days. Oh, what?
You've already made one.
Yeah, I know. But let's show that. There's not much of it left.
I wonder why.
Well, I keep eating it. But, oh my God, it's really good. It's very, very tasty. You can eat this raw, or at this stage you can eat it raw, or you can just slice it and use it as ingredient, or you can slice it and use it as rashers in the pan, and it's really very, very, very tasty. So we're going to put this away and we're going to get on with the next thing, and we'll present that back in a few minutes. Bye.